first interactions that we had was out at Marion Franklin, of course, with the shoe giveaway. And you had mentioned an idea before about working on a particular project together. Mm-hmm. And there's a typical theme for a lot of your big projects that I've noticed, which is very unique, and it's about together. Together seems to be the theme that you always worked with, especially with some of your projects that you've been really passionate about. And I wanted to ask you, what does together mean to you, and how does that impact your running and walking journey?
One of our core values is to run together. And probably 11 or 12 years ago, no, I'm sorry, it was exactly 10 years ago, we had acquired Front Runner and a store up on the north end of town that we could have immediate access to the trail. So we started doing staff runs right away and talking about this notion of running together and feeling this group that became so much closer because we were spending Wednesday mornings together. That's what they're doing downstairs right now.
Yeah.
It's like, and that's 10 years later, we're still doing it. Moving together to me, or the word together, just is, there's such a sense of community and support and camaraderie building up. I think anyone who has spent any time in running or walking knows that uplifting spirit that comes when you're with a group of folks moving together. And it's just really powerful. Even on like the darkest days, knowing that I got a group that I can go out and just have my back is awesome.
I like that you've taken that theme of together and moved it from not only your business with your employees, but you've moved it to different community aspects. You've moved it with Together Fest, we work together and move together. And the fact that you've continued that notion of people moving as one to accomplish a goal centered around health and movement and wellness speaks a lot about what you do. What would be 3 things that you would encourage others to consider if they're looking into, I want to start something up together, with people, or these are factors that I'm starting to get a new group together, or I've got a new walk or club that I want to do. What would be 3 key aspects to keep that spirit of camaraderie in the sense of moving together that you would recommend to somebody?
I think that's a great question. I'm going to have a bit of a long-winded response.
That's all right.
And I apologize, I'll try to keep it short. But when I came into this part of my running career, I ran in high school, ran in college a little bit, played around in college a lot. And then I started coaching high school. When I was coaching Thomas Worthington High School, it was all about building the fastest and the strongest kids. And so I had this notion in my head that it was all about speed and power and performance. And fast forward then a few years later, I was asked to coach our marathon training program. And I kind of initially went into it with that same aspect, and I realized real quick, that's not what this is about.
Yeah.
It is to some,
Yeah.
but it was more about this movement and that camaraderie of having these people around you. So I think to answer your question as far as those 3 key things, it's building that community where there's a very open, welcoming environment where people feel like it's a place that they belong. Introducing yourself to every person who comes. If you're the leader of the group, introduce yourself, say hello, especially if you notice somebody that happens to walk up and doesn't find their way into a group. It's immediately bringing them in, welcoming them into the fold, because it can be so darn scary and intimidating to show up to a group if you don't know anybody. And then the third is keep it fun. Movement is only sustainable if we do it in moderation, not too much too fast. Part of our whole society is bigger, faster, stronger. That doesn't work with our body's longevity. You can't just constantly hammer. Recovery is every bit as important. I love what Craig is doing with having a set pace. Like, it's brilliant.
Yeah, it is.
It's like, for my entire running career, I'd been like, the A group, the B group, the C group for my high school kids. And then it was the 8-minute group, the 9-minute group, the 10-minute group. And like, to do what Craig does, and then what we started to do with Move Together, where we just kind of go, like, it's beautiful.
It's been really cool to witness, especially with the Move Together project. It's been seeing that everyone has the opportunity to move. And I think that's what's been I think running, as we've both been in this for a while now, running has the stigma of always being the fastest or the leanest, or you have to be a certain shape or whatnot to be successful
Yeah.
at running or be successful at the walking, whatever be the case. But I think projects that reinforces the notion that everybody's important in that group. The fact that you mentioned that you introduce yourself to everybody. Not every club does that. Not every I mean, we go to jobs. I may not meet someone at my job. I've worked there 10 years. I may have never seen them in the office,
Yeah.
kind of thing. But it's just that camaraderie sense that is so unique in this space that we're in. And I applaud you for taking the time to make everyone feel like an individual, like they're special, like they matter, like their effort, no matter what their pace is. That's what's really important. That's what I've always admired about the different Together project, whether it be Together Fest, whether we Move Together or Together We Thrive. You know, all the different projects that you've done has always reinforced the fact that everyone is important. If they show up, they're important. They
Pace
matter.
is irrelevant.
Yeah.
Pace is absolutely irrelevant. It's one foot in front of the other. My mom, she was all through my high school years, said she would never run aside from chasing me around on cross country courses. As I thought about it, as I've gotten older, I'm like, you were running a lot, chasing me around on the cross country course. But hurt her knees in high school, what have you. And I think it's been probably 13 years or so now that since I saw my mom show up in an information session for one of our walk to run programs. And then over the years, she's survived cancer 3 times, has done more half marathons than I have in the last 13 years. And, and she's 70 some odd years young. And that's movement's medicine. And I see it there. And if we can translate that to a broader community, it's a huge opportunity for Columbus. Jack talked about the longevity gap last week, and that was really eye-opening to think of it in that stance of a 2 or 3 mile difference that he's talking about.
Yeah.
But 20 years?
20 years.
A 20-year difference in life expectancy from one neighborhood to another.
It's crazy.
It's not acceptable.
No, I like to say before I go into that next part, I'm actually going to jump ahead for that one because normally I give flowers at the end of it. But I will say this now since we're on that topic, the fact that you recognize that and you've always been very integral in community. I personally, and of course the community, wants to thank you for what you do. You could do a lot of other things. You could be spending, all of us could, real talk, but you spend a lot of time really making individuals feel like they matter, especially when they come out to these groups, especially when they come out and run. And that says a lot about your passion, not just for the sport and the health of the sport, but your passion for the people that are there. So I personally thank you for what you do. I am so honored to be working with you and Move Together and another project. Anytime you need me, just say, hey, Kristen, I'm there. But beyond that, I thank you and applaud you and admire what you do for this Columbus community beyond the scope of what you could do. You do so much more than what is asked of you, and you do it with the most genuine heart. So thank you for what you do.
It's an absolute honor and privilege to be able to build our community up. I love this city. I grew up a mile that way. I live a couple miles that way. I used to live for 12 years down in Marion Village. I love this city. I've lived in every part of it. And it's there's a lot of work that needs to be done though we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, with good people like you involved, I think we'll get there. I don't think there's any doubt to that.
Yeah.
So my last question to you, again, I normally do flowers at the end, but it flowed naturally. But the question, or not even, the last question I would have for you is, and this should come natural at this point. Let's say you meet somebody and they're brand new. Older, younger, doesn't matter. They're brand new into walking, they're brand new into running. What would be one thing you would suggest to them or recommend to them as they start this journey?
It's probably not a one thing, but it's kind of a center. Don't get wrapped up in the amount of miles or the pace. Just move. Just move. The speed and the endurance will come. Just be patient and move.
Well, they have plenty of opportunities. As long as they're following you and what you're doing with Fleet Feet, they got plenty of opportunities to move. So thank you so much. I
Absolutely.
appreciate you.
Thank you.